You asked for it, you got it. I don't even know where to start, man. Drew a lot of bad choices. And first of all, you got to understand I'm 60. Afternoon, Dave. You got to understand I'm 60. Uh, when I was growing up, autism wasn't a thing. Um, when you, I used to bounce my knee, and people would say, "Do you do that just to piss me off?" Um, it wasn't understood why people fidget. Um, and it's still, for a lot of people, they don't understand it still. I like to tap. I try not to tap because it's noisy. Um, I try not to bounce. I try to do something quiet. Usually, something in my hands will do. Um, and it's especially when things are a little stressful. So let's call it 18 years ago. Um, I was homeless. I had no place to live. I had a motorcycle. Uh, I was riding for soldiers killed in action with the Patriot Guard. That plays a part in the Amazon story in a little bit. And I was living life the best I could at the time. Uh, Hustled a few jobs, temp services. Could never hold a job because at some point my autism would blow up. Um, and because people don't understand it, there's a clicking, and that's what I'm looking for is what's clicking. So I know what's clicking, make sure nothing's wrong. Um, so I wasn't able to get a job. I mean, I was good at selling cars, but I had burned a lot of bridges in the car business. And at the time, my driver's privileges weren't the best, to say the least. So the story starts, the story really starts with my mom calling me one day and telling me, "Hey, I got my husband is diagnosed with Alzheimer's. He really messed up their finances. My mom needed to work, but she promised her husband out of love that she would not put him in a nursing home, no matter how bad it got, unless he got violent. If he got violent, I wasn't going to stand for it. He was going in a home. Um, he never did, though. She asked me to come home and help her take care of her husband. Now, this man hated me, and I hated him. I mean, we were like oil and water. We did not mix at all. Um, but my mom asked me to, and I will do anything for my mother. So off to New Jersey I went. Um, God plays a role in this. I don't want to get into the stories of all that because you guys want to know about the Amazon part of it. And that's what I'm going to try to focus on. So and you got to have a little bit of meat and potatoes so that you understand the story of how I got started. So remember, I had a motorcycle. So I got home to mom. Um, my credit was shot, dead up to my eyeballs. Um, and I was helping her take care of Win. She would give me a couple of bucks here and there, gas money, coffee money. Uh, After dealing with my stepfather all day, I needed to get out of the house for a couple hours on the bike. And I usually ended up at Wawa having coffee. That's a whole nother story that has nothing to do with Amazon. But I was riding for soldiers killed in action with the Patriot Guard. And I met this woman who lost her son, a helicopter pilot. in Vietnam. And I met her when I was doing a Reads Across America thing. So she was telling me that they had found the remains of her son and they were getting everything together and they were going to have a funeral. And she would like me to be part of the escort into Arlington for her son. Well, as it got closer, she emailed me and said, I would like you to have a POW flag on the back of your motorcycle. You cannot fly an American flag inside of Arlington. The only flag that flies at Arlington, only U.S. flag that flies at Arlington is at General Lee's house. It's the only American flag. We tried to fight it, and we were told that it would offend too many foreigners because there's people buried there from foreign countries. I did not know that at the time. I learned a lot about it. So I told her, sure. Now, I'm a man of my word. If I tell you I'm going to do something, I pretty much do it. So all she asked for was a POW flag. How hard could a POW flag be to get? Memorial Day weekend. We're bringing in summer. I mean, every store has one, right? Yeah. This is where the story starts of the flag company that I built. It took me a solid week on MySpace, reaching out to as many people as I could. Finally, Washington Harley-Davidson reached out to me and said, we will have a POW flag for you with a mount for your Yamaha, because I had an old beat-up Yamaha, bald tires and all, for just stop here before you go to Arlington to escort Captain Crosby in. His name's Captain Crosby. I know where his name is on the wall. I have a pencil etching of his name. Met the family. I know all about his service. I know what happened. I know who was on board the helicopter. I learned a lot about him. He was kind of special to me. I rode for well over 100 soldiers killed in action. In fact, when Lori and I were on our honeymoon, she seen on TV that a soldier got killed, and we went and stood guard at his funeral with the American flag with the Patriot Guard. That's a whole nother story. But because I'm having such a hard time finding that POW flag, I came back and said, Mom, I'm going to start a flag company. I ain't got 2 cents to rub together to my name, but I'm going to start a flag company. I'm a disabled veteran. Got the veteran flags, this piece of cake. Started looking on eBay, and Stacy Flags was the biggest seller at the time. I don't even know if they sell flags anymore. And I watched and watched and watched. And during this time, the Tea Party was big. And I was like, all I got to do is call somebody, buy some flags, and start selling them on eBay. It can't be that hard. I must have called every American flag company in the United States. They all laughed at me and hung up. They wanted to see my store. I had to buy $25,000 worth of inventory. Some of them were $50,000 worth of inventory. And they had to approve everything that I did. I wasn't giving up on this. I was selling flags. So I found a company that would sell me Chinese-made flags. Man, that was a tough pill to swallow for me. I had to really think about that one. I had many arguments with God over that one. Now, during this time, between deciding I was going to start a flag company and finding this company to sell me flags. Lori and I met. We met at a church cafe one night, and we have not been apart since. That's another story. I'm trying to stick just to the Amazon part of it. We've been together since we met, basically inseparable since. We got a credit card for $500. And I told her, I said, I want to start a flag company. I want to take that $500 and I'm going to build $1 million business. You would have thought she, if she was in any kind of sane person, give you a little insight into my wife, you would have said, ain't no way in hell we're going to start a flag company. She asked me what was the worst that could happen. I said, well, according to the terms of the credit card, the worst that could happen is we'd have to pay $25 a month for the rest of our lives because, it's the interest eats you up. It was a 29.95 interest rate on the credit card. She said, I believe in you. Go ahead. Let's do it. So this Chinese company would sell me flags. If I bought 100 of them, they were $1.75 a piece. And at the time, I could get 100 flags shipped for $25. So they were $2 a piece, all in. I had $500, so I bought 100 American flags and 100 Don't Tread on Me flags. And the only place I knew to sell them was eBay. I did have some understanding of eBay and how eBay worked because while I was out homeless, I was able to sell a few things on eBay. One of the things I sold was porn. My mother knows that, so I'm not embarrassed to say it anymore. I never told anybody. I never really talked about what I sold. I sold a lot of porn, and I sold websites. I built and sold websites on eBay for a while I was homeless because all I needed was a library to work. And I could build a website and sell it and get it all set up for the new customer. Selling pipe dreams because none of them ever made anything. I had some great names, though. Legal Weed was one of them. That guy was sorry, I was reading a comment. Legal Weed was one of them. The guy still owns it. Does nothing with it. I sold it to him for $49.95 because all my websites at the time were $49.95. And I sold about one a day. So $50 coming in with no real cost was pretty good. So I understood eBay. I understood how to make a listing. So I learned how to sell on eBay. It's not complicated. Back then you put a listing up and you could run as many auctions as you want. You could start an auction for a penny and you could charge $9.99 shipping and handling. I charged $7.99 shipping and handling. I think at the time it was $3.27 to ship the flag, plus $2 it cost me was $5.27, less Amazon's eBay's fees, and I made a little bit of money. And I would put American flag in a Don't Tread on Me flag. I would sell 3 American flags, 5 American flags, 10 American flags. Same thing with the Don't Tread on Me. I just slammed listings up as fast as I could. That's all I did was list. And I probably I had a sell-through rate probably about 1%. But I was listing 200-300 listings a day. That's all I did was list. While my stepfather had Alzheimer's. He would sleep. He'd lay back in his chair and he'd sleep or he'd do this. And while he was doing this was his way of praying. So he'd pray for hours on end. So I had plenty of time to work on it. So I did that for years. I promised the guy that I would stick with flags because I've had a million ideas of how to make $1 million. I promised the guy I would stick to flags for 2 years, and I did, and it paid off. Now, that's back in 2007, 2000, late 2006, mid 2007. I didn't really officially become a business until January 1st. I registered, I believe it's 2007, or because of the way the legal stuff, it turns out it's some day in February, but I started the paperwork on January 1st, 2007. So I did that for 5 years, buying and selling flags. It's the only thing I sold was flags. I knew nothing about going to Goodwill and buying stuff at Goodwill. And I had stores. I had 7 stores on eBay at the time. And we weren't making much money because what people don't understand about business is, although I was profitable, there's this thing called cash flow. And inventory eats the shit out of cash flow. Bonk it is. So, 2012 was a very interesting year. A lot of things happened in 2012. Now, by this time, Dad's gone. Lori and I are married. We got married in 2008. We have profit in the business, but we're not raking it in yet. We're scraping by. I don't understand business. I don't understand money. I don't understand cash flow. I don't understand any of that stuff. I still don't, guys. I still don't understand it all. It can get explained to me, and I have somebody I trust, my brother-in-law. That's another story. But I don't understand it all, how it works. So I deal with it. My autism has pluses and minuses. So in 2012, Lori's was a teacher. So in 2012, in the summer, my sales would go up naturally because I was selling flags. Naturally, my sales went up. Her income went to zero because she didn't get paid in July and August. September was, we always went out to dinner at the beginning of September 15th, because she got her first paycheck. It was like a celebration thing, and we did it for years. September 15th, we would go out to dinner. Sometimes it was McDonald's because that's all we could afford. But my income went up in July and August because sales were naturally higher on flags. So in 2012, eBay Open was in Philadelphia. PayPal was a sponsor. This is how far we're going back. PayPal was a sponsor at the eBay Open. Chris Green, for the old timers, and you can look him up, Chris Green wrote a book called Retail Arbitrage. I haunted that man waiting for that book to come out because I didn't understand retail arbitrage, and I had to read this book. It was $200. This was guru style back then. $200 for this book. Had speaking tours all over. Gurus were big back then. So I found this morning show Reseller Wake Up. Scott was on there. A guy named Mike was on there. I can't even remember the guy. I could see him. He's jiu-jitsu was on there. He actually ran it. And eventually I got on there and was hanging out. And we used to show our numbers on our phones, bragging. Scott used to sell a lot more than I did a day. Back in 2012, Scott outsold me. That book, Retail Arbitrage, changed everything for me, and that's where Amazon's going to kick in. So I go eBay Open was $75. I'm like, I ain't paying $75 to go to eBay Open. I don't have it. Paul, thank you, Steve. Paul ran Reseller Wake Up. The last word on the show every day was Bitcoin. It was a joke back then. Motherfucker, I wish I had bought Bitcoin every day I was on the show. Damn, where would I be today? Go back and listen to old episodes, and he always closed out the show. He would go, Bitcoin. So I went to eBay Open. Lori said, you're going. I'm like, Lori, we don't have the money. It was early September. She hadn't gotten paid yet. My sales were up. My profits were up. But, man, I struggled to keep the house, all the bills at the house by myself in 2012. We're 5 years into business. We're still struggling. I was too stupid to give up. So I go, Lori's like, you're going. I don't care. We'll figure out how to make the $75 work or whatever. So I went to eBay Open. Now I rode my motorcycle up there, got my beard. I still got my beard. I bump into this 6-foot+ guy, big burly guy. And I had an American flag shirt on because I was trying to advertise what I did. Because everybody, first thing everybody says, what do you sell? So I meet this big burly guy, and I'm thinking, okay, I can hang. This is the type of guy I can get along with because he's a big burly guy. He's a man's man. Jason T. Smith is his name, if anybody knows Jason T. Smith. We laugh about this now. I said, he asked me, what do you sell? I said, American flags. I did a pretty shitty job advertising because I had the American flag shirt on. And now I'm known a little bit on the internet because I was posting every day in every group. I ate up information about learning how to sell. Facebook was young. I didn't understand it, and I was just blasting groups, man. People thought I was trying to steal their members. I didn't understand what groups were. I wanted people. I was looking for people to talk and learn and figure this stuff out. That's why I did Reseller Wake Up. I love that show, man. I didn't miss a day because after the show we would work for hours in a hangout. We would all just work. So I said to Jason, what do you sell? He said, used women's lingerie. I said, yeah, okay. What the fuck do you really sell? He said, no, I'm serious. He says, eBay wants me to do a talk in 3 minutes or whatever it is. I'm like, I have a meeting with PayPal because I didn't understand PayPal. He said, my website is, I forget what the two guys reselling or something. Anyway, he had a 1-hour video on there about going to Goodwill, how to look for used T-shirts and sell them on eBay. I said to Lori, I got to try this. This looks too easy. So I went down to Goodwill, and the first thing I found was, I'll never forget it, was a Philadelphia Phillies Tommy Bahama, brand new with tags on it. I listed it for $79.95. It sold in a day. I was hooked on Goodwill after that, buying at Goodwill and selling. I ate up everything he had. Jason had a show on TV at one point, and I've hung out with Jason. Jason, his wife, and my wife and I have gone out for dinner several times. When I get to Vegas, he's in Vegas. When I get to Vegas, we hang out. He really, really opened my eyes to a whole lot of things back then. So now I'm doing the reseller morning. Wake up. The reseller wake up, and I'm learning a lot. Then Chris Green has a conference in Florida. So I go down to Florida, And there was 4 guys on stage talking. They called themselves the Young Guns. These guys were 18, 19, 20. They were selling $100,000 a month on Amazon doing retail arbitrage. So I held my hand up. Now, I could tell you what day it was because it was the first Prime Day ever on Amazon. Everybody's looking at their phone, and I wasn't looking at my phone because all I did was drop shipping at the time. They're like, why don't you look at your phone? I said, I'm done work by 8 o'clock in the morning. I built a drop ship on Amazon selling my flags from the manufacturer. So I held my hand up, and I wasn't putting my hand down. I had a question. I didn't care what they were talking about. I had my hand up. And so finally they got tired of it, and they said, what is it? I said, I got 2 questions. 1, how do I become one of you guys? And 2, the little guy on the end, you work with me now. I did this in an event that I had paid $500 and some to go to. They all laughed. Those 4 guys came to me at lunch. Their product had gotten kicked off Amazon for being not a counterfeit, hazmat. These 4 kids had no idea how to ship a product. They said, can you sit with us at lunch and explain how you do your shipping? They didn't understand ship station, post office, packaging, nothing. These guys knew nothing. So I learned a lot at that time. Now I'm doing drop ship flags on Amazon, and I'm reading this book called Retail Arbitrage. This is where my Amazon business really starts. The drop shipping of the flags was good, but the vice president of the flag company was taking all my ideas, running them through his company, and then telling the owner they were his ideas and I was stealing his ideas from him. The day he retired, he went to the owner and said, hey, I've been lying to you for years. All those ideas was that guy's. They were John's. I stole every one of them from him. See you later. Because he was retired. He was out. At least he fessed up to it. Retail arbitrage is where my business took off. And it's where my 5-step process comes from. It's very simple, guys. It's a 5-step process to selling. The first step is find a product. Back then, you went to Dollar Tree with your phone and you scanned. At least I did. I was a huge Dollar Tree fan. I was probably one of the biggest Dollar Tree resellers there was. At times I had a quarter of a tractor trailer come in because you could get it shipped to the store for free. I sold flashcards, pop rocks. Oh my Lord! At one point, I had 200 cases, 48 pop rocks in a box, 200 cases sitting in my warehouse. I had a storage unit. I called it a warehouse. I always talked bigger than I was because I was determined to be successful. So step 1, find a product. Basically, I look for a product that is just an everyday product. When I explained it for years, I called it granny panties. A lot of people still know me remember me talking about granny panties. It's something my grandparents would use, and I expect my grandchildren to use. Playing cards, dish towels. Guys, I've been selling dish towels for 10 years. What else have I sold? My reading glasses arrived at port today. So I'll be selling reading glasses. I've told you for years, sell reading glasses. Nobody ever listened to me, so I said, fuck it, and started my own reading glass business. It's not the product. and I'm not going to really dig into it right here, but it's not the product. Everything has a natural sales level where you can make it sell so much. It's up to you to decide if you want to invest the money that you have to invest to buy that product to resell it. Sometimes MOQ, the amount you have to buy to bring it in from China, is more. It eats up too much of your cash flow, so you can't do it. There's not enough profit margin, but every product will sell for a profit, and it has a natural sales level. It may be 10 times a month that it sells, but it'll sell 10 times a month. If you pick the right products, those sales become dependable. 10 times a month for every month for 12 months is 120 sales. If you make $3 a sale, that's $360. Now you add that to another product that sells 20 times a month that makes $1 each, 12 months, 240. Now you add that together and you made $600. You just keep stacking in the way I do it, I just keep stacking products on, more and more products. So step one is find a product. Step two, list the product. When you list a product, how many ways can you sell this product? For example, chess pieces. There's a replacement set. They call them replacement sets because you only get one color. You only get half the game. All right? It's so that if you want to play pink and black, you can. So you sell half a set. But you can also sell pink and black together as a set. You can do pink, black, and a board. That's called bundling. I did that for years. I didn't make stupid bundles. I didn't take a postcard and say, okay, you get a free postcard every time you buy my dish towels. No, I gave you a product that actually made sense. I sold party supplies for years. I sold 2 packs of plates. They're like fucking hot dogs. 8 plates in each pack and 16 napkins. So I sold 2 packs of plates and 1 pack of napkin. The owner of the billion-dollar company said that'll never work. Well, wasn't he wrong? That was the first product I had that did over $1 million in a year. First product line. I learned to mix and match. I learned how to sell differently. So that comes under listing. So you find a product, you got to list the product. Third thing, you got to market the product. If you don't tell anybody you're fucking selling something, how the fuck are they going to buy it? When people ask me for help, the first thing I say is, what do you sell? If you tell me, oh, I can't tell you, it's top secret, fuck you, I ain't got time for you. Get out. Get out. I don't have time for you if you can't tell me what you sell. If you think I'm going to steal your product, you're out of your mind. I got no reason to. I got more products than I need. I still do to this day. I got people coming to me now saying, please sell my product. No, I don't want to sell no more products. So I'm making my own. Yes, I get very agitated by this stuff, guys. This is my autism starting to kick in. Let me get my king and roll him around my hand because he's pointing and I feel the pain and it makes me calm down. So, step 1, find product. Step 2, list the product. Step 3, tell people you got it. I use PPC. In my lifetime, I've spent over $1 million on PPC. I've made millions in sales, guys. Step 4, when the product sells, restock it. Wow, that's a hard one. Step 5, decide if you want to keep it or kill it. You do that with every product, and after 18 years of hard work, you got a real business. Now, I see it all the time. People fluff up their listings to make their Chinese piece of shit product out to be this high quality item. I found that if you're honest with people and say, hey, listen, this is a cheap piece of plastic I printed at my house, but it's American made and you're supporting an American company, I do a lot better than trying to say, this is the highest quality plastic we've ever had, and this is what we do this, and we're so perfect and everything. I just honest. When I'm looking at products, if I can't explain what the product is in 10 words or less, I ain't fucking selling it. If it's a gizmo or a gadget or the latest fashion, I ain't selling it. I don't do that stuff. Everything I do, I try to sell. If I sell this piece, if I start selling this set, I expect to sell it for the next 20 years, this same exact set. I look for repetition. I look for very small profit on a very big volume on a very long period of time. So that when I set it up in the beginning, when I find it, list it, run the PPC, restock it, it pays off huge dividends long term for my time invested. Now, you have to understand, what you have to understand is you can't do what I'm doing overnight. You can't. Unless you find a product like Hatchimals and you try and corner the market on Hatchimals. One of the young guns did it when Hatchimals were big. As far as I know, he's the first person to hit $1 million in one day in sales on Amazon, other than Amazon. He really worked hard at cornering the market for Hatchimals. You have to understand that I stack product after product after product after product after product, and I make $5 a month on this product and $20 a month on that product. And, do I have a couple of home runs? Yes, I have some real good home runs in there. If you really look at my stuff, you'll know which ones are my home runs. But those home runs are so well protected, you'll never be able to sell anything like it. When I sell these, I don't want to be the number one seller. All I want to do is find a natural sales level. Because if I'm not the number one, I don't have a target on my back. I didn't order the fifth guy, the guy that has the fifth best listing on chess pieces. I ordered the number one selling chess piece. Why? Because that's the motherfucker I'm going after. All I do is systems. I say this all the time and nobody really hears what I'm saying. But please listen to me. My first step is find a product. Something my grandparents would have used. Something I expect my grandchildren's generation to use. I have to be able to explain it in 10 words. It's a dish towel. You use it when your dishes are wet and you wipe it and it dries the water. It takes the water off the dish and dries the dish. Not very complicated. I sell soap. It washes your dirty ass. When your ass is dirty, you get in the shower with a bar of soap and it washes your dirty ass. The owner hates when I say it, but that's all a bar soap does. It washes your dirty ass. Okay? My grandparents used soap when their asses were dirty. My grandchildren use soap when their asses are dirty. You starting to see something here? Granny panties. I always talked about granny panties because there's not a woman in the world that at one point in their life will not need a pair of granny panties. Whether it's a pregnancy, whether it's old age, whether it's whatever it is, every woman goes through a stage in life where they need granny panties. So how many people buy granny panties, right? So something my grandparents use, something I expect my grandchildren to use. Chess. How old's this game? My listings are very basic. I take 7 honest images. There's no fluff. Do I use AI? Yes, I do use AI in my images, but I do not fluff my listings. I do not try to oversell. This is a 3.75. It meets all the international regulations for chess, for tournament chess. I will state that. But I'm not going to tell you it's the best chess set out there. It's just a chess set. Is it a good playing set? Yeah. Can you knock it around? Yeah. It's designed to be played. It's not a showpiece. It is designed to be played. I don't lie. I don't try to oversell. I give you the basic information in selling in my listing. I tell you what the item does. I tell you what the real quality is. My dish towels are Dollar Tree level dish towels. They're not great. They're not the best dish towels on the market. They're not the most absorbent dish towels on the market. They're decorative, economical, price friendly, everyday use type thing. I do not say super absorbent, extra thick. I don't do that stuff. I be honest with the customer. And as I do that, I've also found that I don't have as many customer complaints. The other thing is my ranking on that product is a 4.6 or 4.7. And it's just a Dollar Tree item. And I've been selling it for years. Again, you can't get it. You can't. I own the rights to that particular design. Can you sell dish towels? Sure. But dish towels isn't what made me rich. It's the system of stacking dish towels with soap, with Pop Rocks, with playing cards, with toothpicks. I sold toothpicks for a while, cinnamon toothpicks. They were the hottest freaking toothpicks in the world. The guy didn't know how to run his business. He went under. But I sold them while I could because cinnamon toothpicks been around for a long time and they'll still be around for a long time. I just keep adding products. Chess pieces. I'm not going to make a living that I can go out and buy a Rolls Royce with these things. I'm going to be able to keep putting food on my table. Reading glasses. I'm not gonna be able to go out and eat steak every night because of my reading glasses. But as you add it all together, it works. Now, my PPC, I run a very simple system. I've said it for years, and every time I go off of my system, I blow it up and I spend way too much money on PPC and why everybody hates PPC. I run a very simple system. I run automatic campaigns. And then I do 2 things with the automatic campaigns. I look for negative keywords, words that have no business being advertised for and I'm wasting money on, and I make them negative. And I adjust the bid on the automatic campaign. If I'm spending too much money, I lower the bid. If I'm not spending enough money, I raise the bid. As you add negative keywords, you're going to be able to spend more money and get more sales. At some point, what happens is you find a natural level of sales. My ACoS runs, and that's average cost of sale, runs right about 10%. That means for every dollar I spend, I make $10 back. My tacos, which is my total advertising cost of sales, which means against my total sales, how much did I spend in advertising, runs about 2%. Most Amazon sellers will tell you they run between 5 and 8%. I spend 2%. I keep a lot more in profit because I don't waste it on advertising. excuse me. I'd rather add another product to make another $500 a month than think that I'm going to have the latest, greatest thing. Guys, if you think you're going to be the number one seller on Amazon, it will last 6 months. Somebody will come in and knock your ass off. And if you're making good margin, your margin is somebody else's opportunity. Your margin is somebody else's opportunity. Think about that for a minute. Step 4, restock the item. This is important to me. Steve and Dave and a couple of other guys in here know me, have seen me. My relationships with my vendors is very strong. I get my product when I need it. If you can't supply me, I ain't hanging out with you. I will keep selling until I can't sell it anymore, but don't expect me to do anything special for you. Don't ask me to sell extra. I build a relationship with my vendors. I walk through the aisles of ASD. People know who I am. They ask me, are you ready to sell my product yet? Because they know if I place an order with them, they have a customer for life. I will buy from them as long as I sell the product. I don't price shop. I don't ask for a discount. I don't ask for volume discount. If I can make a profit on 1, I should be able to make the same profit on 10, and I want you to make a profit as well, because when I come back for the product, I want you to still be in business, so I want you to make a profit. I don't play games. I don't price shop. I don't need to. Never needed to. That's step 4. Step 5, keep it or kill it. For me, as long as I can get it reasonably well without an outrageous MOQ, and it makes a fair profit, I'd shoot for, my profit margin runs overall around 22%. 22% after that's, see, with Amazon, it's hard to tell you what profit is. My profit is, when I say 22%, it's Amazon sales minus Amazon fees minus cost of goods. That's my 22% margin. Then you take 2% right off the top for advertising, I'm at 20%. Out of the 20%, I got a lot of overhead. I got labor. I don't have as much as many people do. I sent in 500 pounds of shit today to FBA, and I've been listing 200 CDs today. See, that's where you make the money. Just find a process that works, repeat it over and over and over and over again. Listen, guys, the biggest thing is step 1. The rest of them are easy. Step 1 is the hardest to understand. It's where you really have to absorb a lot of knowledge and understanding about total profit of a product. Not, I know a lot of people go to Goodwill. They won't buy something if they can't make 400% on it. When I was shopping at Goodwill, I buy it and sell it, buy it and sell it, buy it and sell it. I sold jeans at one point. Steve probably remembers this. I used to sell jeans for $6.95. No, I'm sorry, $9.95 plus $6.95 shipping and handling. Sorry, I said that wrong. I sold jeans for $9.95 plus $6.95 shipping and handling. I had a tractor trailer, 42-foot box trailer parked in my mother's driveway because she had 10 acres. And she did my shipping for me, full of jeans. I would not research a pair of jeans. Every pair of jeans was listed at $9.95 plus $6.95 shipping and handling. What does that do for me? Let me explain what that did for me, because I worked on volume. First of all, I paid 50 cents a pair for jeans. Shipping back then in a padded flat rate envelope was $5.95, I believe. I'm sorry, I'm just seeing what's done on the printers. Shipping was $5.95. My mother always asked me, "Well, how do you know you're making profit on your shipping? It looks low." I'm like, "If you want, print them all out, and then you do your Excel sheets or whatever you want. I know I'm making profit, Mom. If I make profit on one, I know I'm making profit on all of them." The good jeans sold really quick, gave me instant income plus money to go back and buy more jeans. The mediocre jeans were daily sellers. They sold steady. The slower sellers kept my shelves full for people to look. And I ran it like day and night. I didn't care. Just My Daughter, somebody bought a pair of Just My Daughter from me, sent me a message laughing at me and said they relisted them for a much higher price. And I went, "Good, I'm glad you're making a profit." Did not bother me at all. You guys got to understand that I have a business model, and I follow my business model very strictly. But step one is the hardest part of the step. Find a product. It's not hard for me. It's hard to break how do I put it in words? You have to take a product. Everybody tells you to buy it for 5, sell it for 15, and get 10 back, so you make 5. You have to look at this as a long-term. Are people going to look at this? Nobody's going to look at chess pieces. Guys, this is a lot of print time for a very small profit margin. What people don't understand is because of the process to print this thing, I'm not out there trying to find new products every day. This will be a steady selling product for me. All right? This is like a granny panty. People buy these every single day. Depression, buy them. Recession, buy them. Times are great, they buy them. They buy the nicer ones when times are good. When times are bad, they buy the cheaper ones. They're just an everyday item, and that's what I look for. Pop Rocks was I scanned Pop Rocks and seen the profit on it. I didn't understand it, and as I was buying all these, I mean, at one time there was 200 of them. My mom said, "It's a fad. What are you doing? It's a fad. It's a fad." I don't know what people were doing, man. People were buying 50, 60, 70 packs of these freaking Pop Rocks. The ones you get at the dollar store, the black bag, they still have it. Black bag, three different flavors inside. Except for it's no longer $1. Lori and I used to shop all over. I would pick her up after work. She's a teacher. Pick her up, and we would shop for 5 hours, just driving from Dollar Tree to Dollar Tree. And we bought a few things. We looked for solid color pot holders back then. I couldn't buy them suckers fast enough. I paid $4 for them, and they were selling for $16.99. I had a problem when somebody put it in their book. One of the best products you can find in Dollar Tree is a 5-pack of red pot holders. Took me straight down. Everybody was on that listing. We would shop all night. It's not about what you sell. It's about being dedicated to your system and process. Scott's starting to find that out. For the people that know us as resellers, Dave and Steve and Scott and me, Scott's starting to find out. I hate saying, he always kicks me off the show. If you notice, when he kicks me off the show, he starts talking about systems and processes. Dave's talking about my genes, systems, and processes because it's not hard work. I live by two things. KISS, keep it simple, stupid, because I'm a dumb son of a bitch sometimes. Hard-headed as hell, too. And the second thing is luck, labor under correct knowledge. I always learn. Now, that's part of my autism, guys. I do have an advantage there. My learning is an advantage. It always has been. I can hyper-focus in on something that I want to learn about. When I wanted to learn how to sell on Amazon, I was hyper-focused on drop shipping on Amazon. When I wanted to learn about pay-per-click, I hyper-focused on learning. What I see all the time is, explain to me how to use PPC. You have to go find out what works for you. What works for me doesn't work for everybody. Not everybody could sell chess pieces. Listen, guys, I got a delivery today. 17 boxes. Each box was 20 kilos of filament. Figure it out. I got filament everywhere. All those boxes over there, 10 black, 10 white, 10 blue, 10 red, 10 green rolls. Then in the closet, from floor to shelf, which is about 3.5 feet up, is double row of filament sorted by color. Steve says, I'm doing the gene method on hats. There's nothing, what I do, guys, is not hard. It's just you have to build a process. The hardest part of the whole thing is finding the product that you're going to start with. Dave is doing it on CDs. Steve is doing it with hats. That doesn't mean you need to go out because Dave's successful with CDs that tomorrow you have to start on CDs. You have to find a product that works for you that you can sell day in and day out, day in and day out. You build a base income. How do you build a base income? Well, as Dave was selling CDs, he found out vinyl's still in. So he added vinyl. I'm not saying that he did. I'm saying that's how it would work. Steve's working on hats. He knows that these hats are trucker hats. And there's certain types of hats. And maybe he goes, well, you know what goes good with hats? I found out these guys are buying belts with hats because they like the big buckles. So he takes his hats and he keeps selling his hats over here because it's a system and a process, and he can do it in half the time. And then he starts going over here a little bit into buckles. If you look at my store, listen, I don't hide it. If you look at my store, I have dealer supplies. I have soap. I have bows. I started Insta bows as a joke. Insta bows. I sell. What else I sell? I don't even know what all I sell, but none of it makes sense together. What it is I use the same system and process to sell those things. I found an item that I know my grandparents would use, that my grandchildren will use. It's not a fad. I ain't selling thongs. You all sell the thongs. If I was selling underwear, I'd sell granny panties. If I was selling bras, I'd sell good old bras. If I was selling men's underwear, I'd sell briefs and boxers. If I was selling socks, I'd sell white cotton socks. I don't need no fads. I don't need no socks that say freaking Blues Clues or Bluey or whatever the hottest freaking kids thing is now. Shit, kids can't even match their socks anyway. They're all, you ever see them? They never wear two socks that are the same. At least if they buy my socks, they're always white. If you do these things, if you figure out this process, if you follow my process, once you have it on one, you can do it on two. You can do it on three. You can do it on 4 items because the system does the work for you, which allows you to go out and do other things. That's how I went from being homeless to this year. We're going to do somewhere around 3.7 million in sales. I'm not bragging here. That's what I'm going to do. It's because of my systems and processes, the people I have working for me, because I sure as hell ain't doing nothing anymore, guys. If my inventory guy got sick, I don't know that I could ship an order to Amazon. I don't know that I could build a listing on Amazon. I think I could still build a listing on Amazon. But somebody builds all my listings now. I haven't built a listing in over a year. I'm getting outdated. I'm stepping away from the business. I'm getting into the manufacturing side because, and I want you to know the reason I went with this. If these people are starting to get older that I've been doing business with, when they die off, if the next generation doesn't want to sell to me, I could be out of business very quickly. Now, I'm diversified in a lot of products, so it's not going to be overnight. This, I control my destiny because I own the manufacturing, I own the brand, and I own the sales channel. So I'm not depending on anybody but me. Now, do people help me do it? Yes, but I depend on me. There's nobody else involved in that. Anybody got any questions before I go? I've been rambling for an hour. That should be more than enough for you guys to get a general idea of what I'm doing. I'll give you a couple minutes if you got questions. Otherwise, I'm getting out of here. I got a lot to get done, man. I knew I was getting the printers. I got 12 printers sitting up in the other shop. Thank you, Laura. Guys, I scream about this at the top of my lungs on Scott's show. You don't understand why I get so frustrated on that show. I have said this for years, over and over and over and over. I'm asked probably 10 times a day how I did it. It's the same answer all the time. Systems and processes. Systems and processes. That freaking filament came in, and the first thing I did was break down every single box I could and put it away so that I can use it. Systems and processes. If you start with systems and processes from day one, and you got to make the systems and processes yourself, your own. You know, when I buy a product, the other thing about products, another one of my rules. Now, I'll break out my SOPs in the future. I'll break out my SOPs and I'll go step by step through my SOP of what I do. Another thing about my SOPs for buying a product, for finding a product, they must not sell to the public. If they have a website that they sell to the public, or if they sell to Amazon, I don't buy the product. I don't buy the product. If I can white label the product, white label means you can put your brand name on it, then I may. I made an exception for the soap and it's starting to bite me in the ass. Missed half the live. I'll go back and watch the recording. Thank you, John, and have a wonderful week. Thank you very much, guys. Listen, I'm going to get out of here. I promised to take my wife to Walmart because she needs to get stuff for dinner. I got a couple of prints finishing up, and I need to get some more prints done. I want to put handles on top of my AMS so I can pick it up and turn it easy. It's too hard for I have arthritis in my hands. It's very hard for me to get in there and grip that thing with my fingertips and turn it without dropping it. I hope that you all got something out of this. Don't think that I was yelling because I was mad or any of that. I am grumpy. They call me grumpy, but it's my autism, guys. I'm still learning to deal with it. I don't like doing these shows. I don't like talking about myself, and I don't like talking about my success. You have to understand, I was 42, homeless with nothing. And it's not something I enjoy talking about because for the first 42 years, if I died, it wouldn't have fazed me. I felt like I was worthless for years, and it has to do with my autism. So forgive me for that. I hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. I try to answer them. Know that I'm busy running around. As this week progresses, it's going to get worse before it gets better. But when the electrician's done and I have set everything up, my systems and processes will take over and my production will not be stressful. Guys, God loves you. I'm trying. It's time for me to go to Walmart and get some stuff done. God bless. See you later. Bye.